In this session, we are going to discuss about production of natural rubber. Natural rubber still supplies about 65% need of the rubber product industry even today. Our present production of natural rubber is mainly from Kerala state. It is around 1 to 2 lakhs tons per year. The world leading producer of natural rubber are Malaysia, Indonesia, Ceylon, and Siberia. Rubber trees grows to a height of 50 to 60 feet with less top growth. It can grow in poor soil in hot climate where equal distribution of rainfall is there. This is proved at a elevation of 1000 feet. The latex produced in the trees can be tapped year-round. Number of plants are available which produces latex, out of which Eva brasiliensis is most commonly used plant which produces more latex compared to others. The rubber is obtained from rubber tree by tapping the tree systematically. Right, you can see the how this is the rubber plant. This is rubber plant, and this is actually rubber forest, plantation of rubber. You can see the trees grown to a height of 60 to 50 to 60 feet, and the rubber latex is actually tapped year around. This is the tapping of rubber. The rubber is obtained from the rubber tree by tapping the tree systematically. You can see how the tapping is done. The tapping consists of cutting at an tree at an angle through the bark of the tree, and a cup is hung at the lower end of the cut to collect the white colored liquid called latex, which flows slowly out of the cut in the tree. You can see this cutting of tree, only bark has to be cut, not the stem. And this is actually how rubber is actually collected in a cup which is hung at the lower end of the cut. This rubber latex contains about 30 to 36% rubber hydrocarbons, 1 to 2% protein, 2% resin, 0.2 to 0.7% ash. The composition of the latex varies with different part of the tree and varies with type of soil and type of tree. The latex is collected in the cup, is gathered in a gathering tank or station. The fresh latex is sieved to remove the impurities, diluted to 12 to 15% dry rubber content. Then the latex is coagulated by using a coagulant like formic acid or acetic acid or potassium or aluminium alum at 4 to 8 pH. So this is the coagulation which is done in this trace. This is rubber and is added to that. This rubber latex is added to that, and the formic acid or acetic acid is mixed in this so that the coagulation of rubber takes place. After coagulation, the rubber sheet is obtained. Right. The quantity of formic acid is such that it brings down the pH value. If excess formic acid is used, coagulation does not take place. After coagulation, rubber can be made into sheets or granules. You can see this, how the rubber sheet is made from after coagulation by passing through a pressure rolls. It is converted into sheet. For preparing smoke sheet, coagulation is carried out in large tanks. The dilute latex is added to the tank, which along with dilute formic acid and thoroughly agitated and mixed, and then partition plates are inserted into it. After some time, the slabs of latex are formed between the plates. The slabs are taken out and passed through a press like this. It is passed through the press where the thickness of the slab is reduced and the excess water is drained out. The sheets of rubber are dried slightly in sun like this. Sun drying will be done and for a few hours, and then they are dried in smoke houses. You can see the smoke house. They actually place inside the smoke house. They close the door and the smoke is produced and the smoke is passed through this compartment where the temperature is maintained around 60 degrees Celsius. The rubber sheets are then further processed. You can see this after smoke house. You can smoke drying. You can dry it by in the sunlight also. Right. This is how we can produce the rubber. The rubber is then further processed, compounded, and vulcanization is carried out. So the vulcanization of rubber is any process which converts an essentially plastic compounded mixture, any compounded mixture, to an essentially elastic state. The theory of vulcanization, a simple example of rubber polybutadiene formed from monomer butadiene. The structure of the polybutadiene can be expressed in a polymer by polybutadiene. Here there are number of chains of polymer placed one over another like this, and when such a polymer is subjected to deformation or pulled apart, there will occur a certain chain slip. The chains of each polymer will slip from each other because of individual chain slip past each other. Thus, the polymer can be permanently deformed. To prevent this kind of deformation, it is necessary to tie the chains to one another by establishing interatomic valency force between some other chain atoms shown by the dotted lines. These dotted lines. The interatomic forces are tied. These links are the basis of vulcanization process where sulfur or other chemicals are used. This establishes a permanent network based on interatomic forces which resist the deformation and gets a high tensile strength. The other vulcanization agents are, other than sulfur, are zinc oxide, magnesium oxide, benzyl peroxide, polysulfide polymer, alkyl phenol sulfides, etc. can be used as the vulcanization agent. Most commonly they use is sulfur. Right. Let us see the properties of natural rubber. Pure rubber is odorless, colorless, elastic, transparent. The specific gravity is 0.915 gram per cc. At low temperature, it becomes stiff, and when frozen, it attains fibrous structure. When heated to 100 degrees Celsius, it becomes soft and plastic. It reacts with chlorine, fluorine, iodine, and halogen acid, hydrochloric acid, hydrobromic acid. Ultraviolet and sunlight deteriorates it, makes it sticky and soft. When reacted with sulfuric acid, it gives thermoplastic. It can be elongated to 1 to 100,000% and it is flexible. These are the properties of natural rubber. Right? Next, we'll discuss about the manufacture of polyester. The chemical reactions are it is actually produced from paraxylene. Paraxylene in presence of air and nitric acid. It is converted into terphthalic acid. This terphthalic acid in presence of methanol at about 150 degrees centigrade, it gives dimethyl terphthalate and water. This dimethyl terphthalate and ethyl glycol gives, in presence of alkali catalyst, it gives ethylene terphthalic acid and methanol. This mixture of ethylene terphthalic acid and methanol is polymerized to give polyester or Dacron-Meyer fiber. Dacron-Meyer or polyester or terline, whatever it may be. So these are the reactions taking place in the production of polyester from paraxylene. Let us see the flow diagram. This is the flow diagram for the production of polyester. In this, the process is, the Dacron is an important ester. It is obtained by polycondensation reaction of dimethyl terphthalate and ethylene glycol. Terphthalic acid is directly obtained by oxidation of paraxylene in presence of nitric acid. Polymers formed by condensation of polyfunctional acid or ester with polyfunctional alcohol are called polyesters. Linear polyester are formed from bifunctional group which are suitable for fiber and films. The chemical reactions are detailed in the previous slide. Polyester is a condensation product of dimethyl terphthalate and ethylene glycol. The ester is subjected to polymerization under vacuum at a temperature of 260 to 290 degrees Celsius. This process releases methanol and glycol with a polymer chain containing more than 80 benzene rings. After filtering to separate the polymer is melted and spinned to form polyester filament. The filaments are stretched by the application of heat about 3 to 4 times of its original length. It is particularly well suited for woven fabrics such as summer suit, socks, clothes, etc. Because of its strength, it is used in tire cords, ceiling thread, fire hoses, V-belts, photographic films, and recording tapes. It retains creases and fleet when washed and dried. High wrinkle resistance other than fibers when wet. It is principal ingredient of wash and wear clothing. So this is about the polyester and its properties. Now we will discuss about cellulose acetate. So this is the flow diagram for the production of cellulose acetate. It is not the regenerated cellulose. It is an ester of cellulose. The spinning solution may be used to produce fibers, transparent films, photographic films, and precipitated to form molding powder. Raw material for cellulose acetate. Cellulosic raw materials like wood pulp or cotton, acetic acid, sulfuric acid, catalyst, acetic anhydride. The process that takes place in the production of cellulose acetate is the raw material for spinning solution is prepared by charging acetic anhydride, glacial acetic acid, and small quantity of sulfuric acid as a catalyst to the jacketed, glass-lined, agitated cast iron alkylator or acetylator. The mixture is cooled to 7 degrees Celsius and the wood pulp is added slowly. The acetylation requires 5 to 8 hours and the temperature is maintained below 50 degrees Celsius. The fluid is diluted with equal parts of concentrated acetic acid and 10% sulfuric acid and allowed to age, that is stored for a long time, for 15 hours at 38 degrees Celsius temperature. Hydration of some of the acetate group occurs here. The hydration is stopped by running the mixture into a large volume of water and precipitating the secondary acetate. The secondary acetate is centrifuged to separate it from the still strong acetic acid, which is recovered, concentrated, and reused. The flakes are washed several times by decantation and are then ready to be used in preparing spinning solution by dissolving the dry flakes in acetone in a closed agitated mixer. If desired, a delustering pigment is added. Several batches are blended, filtered, and sent to spinning machine. The solution is forced through spinneret into a current of warm, moist air. The acetone evaporates and is recovered, leaving a filament of cellulose acetate. This is the process how cellulose acetate can be manufactured. Next, we will discuss about manufacture of polystyrene. Polystyrene is prepared by emulsion polymerization method, where styrene monomer is polymerized in the emulsion of fatty acid and soap at about 50 degrees Celsius temperature, which gives polystyrene. The chemical reactions are like this. Styrene monomer on polymerization gives polystyrene polymer. It is an addition polymerization product. The flow diagram for this is here. Emulsion polymerization is more popular version of polymerization. Polymerization is carried out in an enameled reactor fitted with a water jacket. Stirrer and a reflex condenser is used for recycle of unreactants. The monomer is suspended in an aqueous phase using a stabilizer, sodium sulfate, which is added to control the pH. A thorough agitation keeps the monomer suspended in the medium. The aqueous phase emulsified and mixed with monomer, and the emulsion is sent to a reactor which is heated and kept at 60°C temperature. There may be a number of reactors in series. Polymerization reaction takes place in presence of initiator like persulfate. Polymerization is carried out under nitrogen atmosphere and it will complete between 3 to 6 hours. The product is sent to coagulation to coagulate the latex. The polymer mass is coagulated by heating it to 120°C and settled. The latex thus formed is separated by centrifugation and washed and dried, and it can be used for the production of other products from this. Right? This is how the polystyrene is manufactured in the industries. Now let us see the MCQs. Number 1, rubber latex contains -% of dry rubber. Options are 20 to 25%, 25 to 30%, 30 to 36%, and 35 to 40%. Option C is the right answer. It contains 30 to 36%. Second question, latex is coagulated by using dash. Option A, nitric acid. Option B, sulfuric acid. Option C, formic acid. Option D, benzoic acid. Option C is the right answer. Latex coagulation is carried out in presence of formic acid. It is option C is the right answer. Question number 3. Commonly used vulcanization agent is dash. Option A, sulfur. Option B, zinc sulfide. Option C, copper sulfide. Option D, iron sulfide. Option A is the right answer. That is sulfur. Question number 4. Dacron is a dash. A condensation product of hexamethylene, diamine and adipic acid. B, thermosetting material. C, condensation product of dimethylene, terthalate and ethylene glycol. And D, none of these. Option D is the right answer. It is none of these. There is no right answer. Question number 5. Terline is dash. Options are A, same as Dacron. B, a polyester. C, both A and B. And D, neither A nor B. The right option is option C, both A and B. Question number 6. Dacron or terline fibers as compared to nylon fibers have dash. Option A, better heat and acid resistant. B, poorer resistance to alkali. C, poor dye ability. And D, all A, B and C. The right answer is D, all A, B and C. It has proper heat and acid resistant, poor resistance to alkali, poor dye ability. These are the properties of Dacron. Thank you.